The effect of tourism on the local population in Hawaii has contributed to major economic growth in the region while simultaneously contributing to adverse issues in local communities as they struggle to continuing financing their lifestyles, protecting their cultural heritage, face the results of the increase in population. Economically, Hawaii relies on its tourism as it generates $2 billion a year in tax revenue for the state. Additionally, the tourist industry generates $17.8 billion in tourist spending. This heavy economic reliance on tourism also carries over to employment in Hawaii, as nearly a quarter of residents are employed by an aspect influenced by tourism. While the tourism industry has majorly contributed to the economy of the state, the locals are often left facing the negative impacts of the continuous Airbnb developments, large resorts, and investors purchasing the already limited land. This purchasing continues to drive up the housing prices in Hawaii, which leads to many locals being unable to afford their own homes. A study from Hawaiian Legal Services found that median rent for a one-bedroom apartment in Honolulu in 2024 is $2,100, compared to the $1,600 on average in the entire U.S. The University of Hawaii also finds that in hotspots, these short-term rentals can account for over 87% of the market. The lack of real estate land available versus the continuous development and investments of resorts and overseas companies looking for profit margins causes this complex equation for the state, in which they cannot increase property tax in fear of hurting the already vulnerable natives, but in some cases they must order to deter investors from causing market imbalances. In relation to the impact of housing prices economically for the local population, the overdevelopment has also led to negative cultural impact. A study from Hawaiian New Network HTMHawaii found that 67% of residents agree that Hawaii is being run for tourists at the expense of the local people. Native residents continue to struggle to afford to live in Hawaii, as a result are moving to the mainland. According to an Island News article based on U.S. Census data, between 2010 and 2023, there was an 8% decline in the Native Hawaiian population in Hawaii. In contrast, some parts of the tourism industry do attempt to give back to the local communities to support the cultural heritage of the land. For example, after the Maui fires that greatly impacted the lives of those who lived in Lahaina, the Maui Strong campaign helped raise over $200 million to assist those who needed assistance. Many of these contributors were people with love for the land who may not be Native Hawaiian, but wanted to contribute positively for the place that they care for. With the influx of tourism associated with the state, there is an associated demand for basic needs such as electricity, water use, and transportation. These associations can hold negative effects as the region already faces scarcity with such natural resources. An example of this is seen in 2022, when Maui faced severe droughts. To conserve water, mandates were placed on local residents, which prohibited them from using water essentially. Additionally, the local community would be charged with a fine should they break the mandate. However, the tourist communities did not receive the same restrictions. They were free to continue consuming water with no restriction, despite the industry being responsible for 44.7% of water consumption. Furthermore, the tourism industry in Hawaii continues to grow, which contributes to the growing demand of natural resources. Between the years of 1985 and 2010, the number of the hotels doubles, reconnecting with market imbalances of the housing market. This increase in development will continue to make the already scarce land available even more inaccessible for further housing development and will affect the local and native populations of Hawaii.